The better level 5 teamfight comp often won the game. But now you've got so much diversity in what you can do on the map, and that opens up so many more picks, like the Jax, who is an absolute monster at taking turrets. Gonna be the same call from SBTC though, a Baron lane focus coming through with the Fiora ban. The Senna, we don't want to see fasting Senna. It is one of the most reliable competitive picks that you can get, so that's gonna be taken off the board by DKG. We'll see if any of the bans do get shifted up though, because that's what I am looking for. And there we go, D-Man, the Jax comes through.
Like, if there's anything we've learned in any of these League of Legends WildRift games that we've cast over the years, and we've got a good decade between us, you know, the fact is, if something's just absolutely kicked your ass, you're gonna ban it out.
I made a joke. I made a joke.
It was a subtle joke, but the problem is, Scoundrel, you're not a young whippersnapper anymore yourself.
No, I like to think I'm young, mate, but I'm not. I'm like, okay. If anyone's in the audience is watching, and I apologize if you're over 30, but I'm 30 and I feel old. But there we go. Camille left open. This time we had a Galio ban, which actually made it all the way through the previous draft. The ribbon stays the same. The Olaf coming through here, but Ziggs left open again. There was a lot of discussion, especially from European analysts, who said, is Ziggs going to be as a higher priority for other regions as it is for us in Europe? It looks like with DKG, that's the case. TF gets his Lee Sin though. If you're going to get a win, this is probably TF's best champion. And I remember distinctly reading a piece of advice when we were doing a lot of analysis on SBTC. Don't give TF Lee Sin. Well, he's got Lee Sin, so let's see if he can pull the win out here. I love the Corki. I think Corki's a really reliable scaling late game AP carry. You've got to remember that 80% of his damage is dealt as magic damage, which always catches people off guard. They think he's an AD carry, but he's primarily magic damage. But he can flex between both mid and bot. Still opens up the draft a little bit here. This could go over to Kirel, or could go over to Julie as well. We'll see the Renekton, who's a staple pick in the Baron lane. Very big power pick. I think people really rate Renekton right now. Yo gets his TF though. That is going to have a lot of split push pressure and a lot of map presence.
We need to be careful how we say this, because we have a TF in game. So we've got to be Twisted Fate. Okay, we're going to have to go for the full name, I think.
We'll go for the full name. You're so right. Twisted Fate. Oh my gosh. I'm so used to calling him TF, but I can't remember there is a TF. That will be Weaver getting his Graves. They just talked about it in the analyst desk. It was denied from him in the previous game. I think you now need to prove yourself if you're Weaver that it's worth banning for the rest of the tournament, right? Like if he comes out from this and it's open and he gets the absolute dominant performance on it, you're probably going to be seeing a Graves ban or denial for the rest of the tournament here. That is an interesting one though. I'm hoping for a big knock-up support. Like we're looking for like maybe an Alistair or Rakan works as well. Because there wasn't much facilitation for the Yasuo this game, apart from the Lee Sin pick. But now we're going to get the Rakan. That's a really nice addition. Love the pickup of the Yasuo here. A big gauntlet being thrown down by SBTC.
Yeah, big champion as well. With the Rakan also being locked in, what leaves the final choice? What will they go with for that support?
You want to match the roaming.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The roaming. And I think. Oh, Leona's interesting. A lot of single target lockdown, which can allow make Yasuo a little easier to take down. And definitely has the same roaming potential as the Rakan. You know, you can leave Ziggs very easily in the bot lane. As long as Rakan's not trying to power dive with Ziggs, you can leave him in the bot lane super easily and let Ziggs just find his own way in the 1v2. That's one of the things that we talked about with both the Ziggs and the Varus in the last game. A lot of 1v2 potential where they can just sit there and clear waves by themselves, allowing the support to be more freely roaming across the map.
So we've got a couple of things here, but especially for SBTC, because they've got to, what I would say is comfort picks, right? You've got the Yasuo for Julie, who is a massive, massive player on that, has constantly played it. TF obviously on his Lee Sin. Like, if you're going to win a game, this is it. You know, when you've got all your carries, all your picks that, well, you were going to feel has gone your way. This has got to be the time for them to turn the series back around.
I really like SBTC's comp actually because it offers a lot of breadth. You can split push with this, but you can also team fight, and the scaling is there as well. So they've kind of ticked every single box. However, you're a little weaker in the laning phase. You've got a very dominant laning phase Renekton here, who's very strong in the top lane matchups. And obviously Hueba, again, really good like anti-melee, so you can very easily deal with the Camille, the Lee Sin, and potentially even the Yasuo with this comp. But again, if League goes into a full 5v5 brawl, I'm kind of favoring SBTC's comp. But again, DKG, we've shown what they can do. They've got a lot of tower taking. They've got a lot of split push potential as well. But the only problem is if they let the Yasuo and the Camille get ahead, their split push kind of falls apart. So they're going to have to be very careful in where their resources are being allocated this game. If you let Yunero or Julie get too far ahead, although I say that, I think it might be Yasuo Rakam bot with Kiral playing the Yasuo in the bot lane.
You think that's what it's going to be? That would be big for Julie, who is like the main, it's like massive Yasuo player. But it doesn't, it's not switching, so we've got to assume that's the way. I was looking towards, you know, the win wall. I was all setting up for Julie, but obviously can block the Zenith blade, but it still can't stop that solar flare, which is why I really like that Leona pick in the end there. There's always something that will be able to lock him down.
Yeah, and I think the problem is, though, that it's not just the Yasuo that you got to be worried about. There isn't really a dedicated non-threat, like when I say non-threat, I mean tank. There isn't really like a dedicated tank on SBTC, right? So every single one of their players is a threat in these team fights. And so that's what you have to be a little bit more concerned about if you're Dakun, because it's not like you can just ignore someone in these fights. Like Camille is threatening, Lee Sin is threatening, Yasuo is threatening, and Corki's threatening. So you have to find a way to deal with them. The best way, in my opinion, based on their comp, is to peel back and play front to back if you want to play it that way. Like you just peel back with the Renekton and the Graves, and you allow the ranged of your TF and your Ziggs to do the work from the back line. But there's a lot of ways to engage in the backline if you're SBTC. So again, I think Dakun might want to kind of play away from the team fights until they feel strong enough, especially on the side of Huiba having the gold and Yo and Wind once they've got their gold.
They did switch. Okay, it is Julie on the Yasuo. Okay, that's a strong stun straight out the blocks. Kirill's probably just going to back away and heal that one up. It does give them that smallest advantage. It gave them a little bit of cover they needed. So let's have a brief glimmer. Now we do have the lane set up. We really want to focus on, I would say, probably the jungle pattern, because obviously, you know, there's a lot been said about TF's Lee Sin and Huiba's Graves. They're both on, you know, champions that they are very well known for.
Yeah, it looks like Huiba is actually going for a full topside clear. You never usually go Krugs if you're not going to go for a full topside clear. So he's probably looking to sort of play around the dominance of the Renekton in this laning phase, and then hoping to go for a top scuttle to play away from the Lee Sin. You do not want to get into a fight with the Lee Sin early on. So that to me looks like what he's doing here. He's basically saying, I want to avoid Lee Sin at all costs. I have complete priority in the top lane for YK versus Nero, and therefore I'm going to try and go for a top lane scuttle take, which is exactly what he's doing, and I don't blame him, because getting into a fight as Grave versus Lee Sin can be very scary early on.
It's going to work out. Well, we're speaking of not working out, that grand challenge didn't work out from Aquino there. Completely missed it. Stun card, meanwhile, down in the mid lane. Julie easily eating that yellow card. Huiba is going to have a little peek around there. There's another gold card coming out. And TF, hitting TF. That being the actual twisted fate being taken down.
Oh, now they've got priority mid as well. Like, Huiba, he's going for it. Oh, Huiba, what a beast, man. That was crazy. Sorry, Lee, that just happened instantly.
Yeah, that was okay, but I pulled my headphones out, so I couldn't do a great deal about it anyway. But Wind taken very low at the moment, still going down the bottom there. Yunero in all sorts of trouble, going to try and wipe out the waves, and he will do just in time. It's not over yet, down on the Dragon lane. Yo, going low. Oh, they still didn't get him. The other one got back as well. Wind got away somehow. Yo's still on absolutely nothing. Kirill's going to come in. The minion wave on nothing. They should be able to finish off this time. It could be the double, and I think it will be. Emo just tried to delay things as quick as he could, and Kirill will take the hit.
That is really well played from SBTC. They saw Graves show on the top side of the map. Yunero was not in a situation where he could be tower dived easily, and they had the priority in the bot side. That was the only lane that's been going well for them. They shoved the Ziggs into tower. Let's take a look back at this. This is just really lovely. He'd just been tapping away with the red buff, and then Huiba finds an excellent end to line, and then straight into a smoke screen to finish it off with the first blood for Huiba. That was beautiful. You can see the little fist pump from the guys back behind, because that was a really nice little kill on the tower from Huiba, and it allowed him to get the top scuttle. But obviously, I've got to give credit to TF, and I mean this by the Lee Sin. He was able to go bot, take the scuttle, and then again capitalize on the bot lane priority that they had. It's really good to think the pressure very early on, and they found Yo in the mid lane as well. Caught me by surprise. Didn't even see it happen.
Yeah, this is a bit faster paced than the last game, that's for sure. As we were expecting this sort of to quicken up a little bit, and that's pretty much how it's working out. This is Aquino going incredibly aggressive there with the grand challenge, especially when the fact that Yo can come in and join like this. This is a little too deep, and well, I think it's cost them in the end there a 1-for-0.
If Corki had the package, maybe I would have understood the play. You know, you package right on top of the exit past the wind. It makes it very difficult for him to get out. But that was a Corki without the package. He hasn't even got Sheen to the burst damage. That was, again, I very much agree with you there, T-Man. That was not exactly a play that I would be looking to make with the Corki who hasn't even got a completed item at this point in time, especially given how much peel the Leona offers the Zig. We're going to take a look back here. That was just nice from TF. The leasing pick sets up the Yasuo ultimate. Yo knows he's dead in this situation, doesn't even try to burn anything and just lets it happen.
So 3 for 2. I think it's safe to say that the Kino death was off the back of an aggressive play that just didn't pay off for them, maybe trying to carry the momentum forward. But let's talk about the Rift Heralds, because this is something I can't get your name right, get my mouth in. It's very early in the morning, kid, and you gotta forgive me. It's really lunchtime, actually. What I was about to say is the fight over the Rift Herald, it was kind of wasted by DKG last time around. They had 2 Rift Heralds, didn't really do a great deal with them. This time, SBTC are going to pick it up. There's the X-Tech ultimatum. That is going to be a simple pickup there, and a second to follow it up as TF does go in and get Weaver down.
Yeah, but they're actually losing the first tower of the game to the Ziggs in the mid lane. Really great response, honestly, from DKG to get the first tower regardless of the way that team fight played out. Maybe he has to get some damage on the bot side of the map as well. I will say, though, a little weird from DKG to stick around that far because they knew they had TF on the bot side of the map. They saw 5 members of SBTC. I would say a little greedy to try and go to the fight, but I guess they were trying to buy time and try to stall out as long as possible. But I think at the end of the day, SBTC capitalized really well, but DKG had a really good answer with that mid lane push, and that's what Ziggs offers you. Even in the situations where your team fights are going badly, Ziggs can 2-shot a tower.
We're going to go straight back to it. They got, that's going to get picked up, almost stolen away by the Ziggs bomb coming through. Emo is not going to get away from that one. I don't think Inero's all over him, but he will manage to back away, so no death to either side. Akino might be able to get picked off here, he will do. A quick slice and dice in there from Win, and YK will do the job.
Definitely think DKG disrespecting the engage potential of SBTC right now. Stepping too close, getting knocked up, and the Yasuo finding the engage. Like Julie already starting to prove his worth on this pick with some excellent pickups of the engages that we're getting from both Kano, but also TF making those big picks play happen as well. But honestly, I think they should be a bit more respectful of the engage range that we're seeing coming out from SBTC. They're finding fights, and DKG are getting caught, split, and that's exactly what SBTC want.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're both willing and able to go for these fights at the moment. I just feel that this is going to be one of those games that may just quickly snowball out of control by one of the teams based on these picks that are going. You can see the heavy presence that Kano is trying to put in there. The Grand Challenge comes down because TF is joining. Kick not going to quite land on him there. Julie was nearby, as you can see, sort of cutting the lanes to trying to get as much out as he can. That's a 4 champion presence down the bottom. Not going to net anything, so the Ziggs bomb just used to clear the waves. And back to Flawless.
You can see Corki heading up towards Kiral, heading up towards to support Yunero. I think YK knew something was up. YK was like, why is he coming back to tower with a quarter HP? There's no way that he's going to do this. I have my ultimate available. Like, this was an easy dive for me, and he didn't take it because he knew there was probably someone hovering in the wings waiting for him to go to that tower dive play. So good presence of mind from YK to not make the silly play there. And you can actually see they are trying to just commit to like a 1-3-1 with Ziggs, or it's actually a 2-1-2 with Ziggs just clearing mid as much as possible. Like, leave Ziggs to clear the mid lane waves and just constantly pressure out the side lane waves with both your TF and your Renekton.
Zenero looking to catch Win off guard. He is, but I don't think Win's going to fall for it. They are going to try and commit to it. Hasn't gone for the ultimatum though. The stasis going down. Now they go for it. That's a great kick. Win should go down. They're trying to juggle the aggro on the tower, but it has backfired terribly. Yo's going to try and chase down TF here. I don't think they're going to want to let him get away. He can't go top lane because there isn't Renekton there. He's going to try and cut through the towers and maybe try and back away. I think he's going to get hunted down. Yes, he is. The TF should find him. There we go. Gold card. Doesn't land. He might turn the sword back around. Hasn't got enough life still. He's juggling really well with the bushes, but Yo not falling for it. Takes him down.
I really understand what SBTC did there. They were like, okay, we want to dive Ziggs. We can't let him clear waves. We have to Camille. She can go through with the X-Stick ultimatum. Beautiful Zhonya's to immediately lock that out. Watch this flash from window. Flush straight out of the Rakan ult, and then just buys enough time for TF to get on the tower and the rest of his team to come through and save it. He dies, but it's a 1-for-1, and they protect the mid lane tower. That's exactly what you want from the Ziggs in that scenario. Leona, impossible to dive with her sort of massive boost in resistance that she gets from her second ability. So they couldn't even capitalize on the bot side of the map, and the end of it. Oh, here goes YK.
He's trying to get in. It's Aquino they went for, though, so managed to get out. The Rakana escapes quickly, but the 5-man stack trying to pay off there. Possibly fighting for this second Rift Herald that we saw in the first game. This time around, though, they're not getting caught out. It's not going to be a quickly stolen second Rift Herald. They are full force for this one. SBTC, 5-man stack, but in comes YK around the side. Now there's going to be a great fight to dice. 4 of them caught up there, but SBTC should be able to turn this one around. Wind's trying to get the down. Quiver's got no damage to follow. Aquino will go down. YK still off the side there. No managed to get TF down. He does fall. It's a very messy affair. That's going to be another one. Arrow will fall. It's a 3-for-3 so far. Wow. I mean, no one came out on top there, I don't think. You know, YK is going to be able to get away, but that was... Nobody got the Rift Herald. Nobody managed to get the fight.
A couple of things to note. YK had lost his ultimate, so the Dominus has gone down at this point. They try to find the engage onto Julie, but a great...
It was Sweeper. Quiver stole the Rift Herald.
He stole the Rift Herald, which is fantastic, exactly what he wanted. But that wind wall from Julie just shut down both Yo and the Ziggs in that fight. Like, it was impossible for them to get any damage done, so they had to kite backwards, but they couldn't, because then an engage came through and they were able to kind of follow up. And that's why I don't actually think DKG want to go for the team fights at this stage of the game. They haven't got the items to make it work right now, but they are stacking up again for a potential dragon take. Got a lot of gold on the TF, so...
All stood on the ward, and yeah, I think they finally realized it. You know, he's trying his best. I mean, you say they don't want to go for a team fight. They kind of look like they do.
No, I mean, they've got a lot of gold on TF, right? Yeah. And they've also picked up key optimization. They're actually popping the Dominus very early on here, so we're just waiting to see if they can start this one up. With YK having the Dominus, he's a very scary frontline player that you have to respect.
Oh, that's a double lockup. The solar flare comes down as well. Dinero just locked in the alcove around the side there. Emo will finally fall, and now Julie's going to get the damage down. They're going to lock this one down. DKG in all manner of trouble, but look at the turnaround come through as Weaver gets in and mops up and gets himself a massive collateral damage. And DKG, they may not want the team fight, but they come out 4 for 2, sorry, in their favor.
Yeah, no, it was really well played. I think they're just playing around the item spikes for the graves here. Really good stuff from YK. Pops the Dominus early to build up the Fury as quickly as he can in this team fight. You narrow out of position, and this is exactly what DKG wants. They want single target pickoffs in these team fights to force man advantages in their favor. Obviously, TF on the least in goes a little too far and gets gold carded. He's immediately forced out of the fight. Julie trying his best, but without the setup of multiple members, the Yasuo just isn't getting the same kind of value. And Quiver has that 2-item spike now, makes it very easy for him, and he was able to just kind of clean up at the end of that fight.
Shut down. Whew. I'm gonna need a break after this game. This is a fast one. 12-11, so 23 kills inside just 12 minutes. Remember, the games generally do only last around about 15 to 20-minute mark within Wild Rift, and this one looking to quicken the pace even further. Still, Drake was picked up, and now DKG looking to try and push the engagement. They're going hunting. And it does seem that SBTC, they are starting to respect it a little bit here, realizing the corner position. They've gone for the heavy push on that bot lane. It hasn't paid off, and it may well just lose them 2 tier 2 turrets.
Well, they're going to drop the Rift Herald on the top side of the map here, so even looking for a potential inhibitor tower. That's really engaged by YK. They've got great single target pickoff here. If anyone steps up with no tank, that's a great knockout.
Oh, grand challenge catching 4 of them off guard. This is SBT's fight, surely in the back. Can they turn it around? But you can see the damage from DKG. They're not getting the kills. They've got to confirm the kills. YK almost managed to swipe down 3 of them there. TF will fall. Kirill should be able to get Yo down here. That's still, despite being pretty much the perfect engagement with a 4-man grand challenge knock up there, SBTC still couldn't pick enough up. Yeah, and he's got to respect it. He can't take on Yo now. Has to back away from that one. Wow. Let's check out the Axe replay from that one, because that was the perfect engagement for SBTC, but they didn't get enough for me.
I think this is what they wanted, though. You've got all the key members in the knockup. A beautiful last breath from the Astro. That's the team fight that you're looking for. The thing is, with the SBT team fight, you don't have much leeway to get it wrong, right? You've got no time to absorb the damage. So the first engage that you make, as SBTC has to be the engage that wins you the game or wins you the fight. And that right there was the engage that wins you the fight. Yes, you didn't get enough, but you've got to remember that they're also a nearly 10k gold down. And so it was actually a really good fight for SBTC, even the gold disadvantage they're facing right now. But that engage might be few and far between. You know, Kano is kind of the catalyst for SBTC in these team fights. If he can't make those kind of knockout plays, you're probably not going to come out on top as SBTC. And the fact is that YK is really strong, Yo is really strong, and Huiba is really strong. So even if they want to go for a split play, they can do that.
Okay, on guard here. That's the dominance, but that's gonna be enough to get out of there. Okay. I was just about to say it wasn't going to be enough. I think the Starks managed to save him for a brief moment. But going back to that, you know, YK, I did a Call the Meek, and I got to be honest, the amount of life steal came out, I thought he was going to do a 1v4. And I was so ready for it, but it didn't quite happen. Didn't quite get the Call the Meek off in time. Whew, okay, dragging up, 15 seconds. Here we go again.
DKG, they've actually entered the point in the game where they're pretty strong in teamfight situations now. Like, Hueba's got enough items to be a monster. You've got really strong anti-melee with a very, very, very big Renekton. And I think now, if you're SBTC, you're looking for those miracle engagements again. You're looking for the situation where a Kano gets you like multi-man knockup. Because I think if you're just going to waltz your way into a teamfight without the proper setup, I think Hueba, I think YK are too strong, and Emo provides enough threat and enough heal for both Yo and Wind.
The Kano's flash is on any second now. I think that's what they're waiting for, and they're holding. You can see DKG realize that. They're sat waiting on the timing. They're focused on him, and they will manage to lock him down, but is it going to cost them there? They focus so much on the Kano. I think it's cost them overall. You can see the 1-2 picking up. Yo's in trouble. He's trying to back away. The stun card comes out, though, and that just turned the game around. Kirill realizes, I've gone too deep. Where's my team gone? TF has to run away, and just like that, the fight flips on its head.
That was beautiful from DKG. I love that you picked up on the key moment there, which was, you know, we were talking about it. Like, Kano has to make the engage. Let's take a look at the Axe replay, and we can have a look at that engage that came through. Yo knew. He knew that Kano was looking for it. They tried to focus him down, and look at all the single target CC expended specifically onto the support. How many other fights, how many other games do you see so many resources invested into killing the support first? And they knew that Kano is the catalyst for these team fights. That's why they expended so much onto him. It was obviously very close. Julie almost took the game, took the fight over. But Huiba is just too strong at this point. He's got too many items, and he's got too much lifesteal built into that kit now. And Huiba, again, just absolute MVP of this team.
Yeah, he's just kind of normal. I mean, for me, I kind of feel a little sorry for SBTC because there's so many times in those fights you think, just finish them. Finish that player off. Finish him, and they just get away. They're getting away on nothing, and they're going back in again. But there's going to be a Kano getting the knockup, but he has been picked off already. He goes down, and this may be game.
This is going to be a great win, Wolf. Oh no, the missed time on the stasis. He had your back. Julie had your back, and you doubted him. Oh no, that's disaster, because that might now actually open up the game, or at least multiple inhibitor towers.
Yeah, they're ignoring Baron. That's what I like to see. You know what? We don't need that Baron power play. We're just going to keep on powering down the mid. They get themselves the inhibitor turret, and that goes down. The Nexus may well be next. This could be a quick 2-0. They try to engage, they try to delay, but it's not enough. Julie realizes it. DKG will take it in 2.
That was dominant from DKG, and I think Huiba lived up to exactly what he was expected to coming into this tournament. That guy is an absolute beast, but I loved the strategy that DKG employed on both games here. SBTC honestly felt like they couldn't contend with just the power of the way these fights played out. I've got to be honest though, I think DKG did a really good job of giving gold over to Huiba and then essentially playing off Huiba's item spikes both games. They delayed properly fighting until they hit the relevant item spikes where they felt they could actually take a 5v5. And that to me was what shows real intelligence on this DKG team. They know exactly how to play around item spikes. They know at which point in the game they really want to be sort of looking for those actual engagements and looking for those skirmishes and team fights. And that is, to me, a very strong showing from one of the tournament favorites. You could not come out with a better result in your first game of the Horizon Cup. Yeah,
considering both these two teams, you know, considered, as you say, favorites for the entire tournament, to come out 2-0 in your first game in what was, you know, that, in fairness, that was a pretty messy one. The first game, dominant. Second game, I mean, it was messy, but it was ironic that actually you were the one who was mentioning at the time that SBTC, they were looking for the team fights, but DKG, they were willing and able.
Yeah.